Today's episode is brought to you by Mazars.
SoundCartel.
With more than 30 years' experience, Hunter Leonard is a career marketer who's helped many businesses grow and succeed. So what marketing insights can he offer today that can make a difference to your business tomorrow? From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. Hunter Leonard has spoken to hundreds of business owners and surveyed tens of thousands. So he offers some pretty deep insights into the marketing activities of small businesses. He's also put together a list of 7 principles which he says we'd all do well to follow if we'd like our marketing to kick some real goals. So Heather Dawson asks, what's our biggest issue when it comes to this all-important business activity?
The biggest issue in small business marketing is that we're too tactical. We find that business owners are worried about the brochures, the ads, the email, the social media, but none of it is backed by proper strategy for a business. So an understanding of the customer, the market, the competition, and their value proposition. So we have a 5-step strategic model of marketing. The acronym is RAPID, and it stands for Research, Analyse, Plan, Implement, and Detect. And what we've found that businesses, instead of coming in at research, which is to start understanding their market, themselves, their competition, they're coming in at step 4, which is implement. In other words, they're going straight to trying to write a social media post, or straight to getting an advert done, or straight to sending out an email to their customers. They're not thinking about what their customers need and want first, and that's the major issue in small business marketing today.
Well, in your Generation Experience book, you highlight 7 principles of successful marketing businesses with lessons that will help us all in our marketing activities. Principle 1, Hunter, is to get organised around the customer. So what do you mean by that?
Well, if you imagine a circle with the customer in the middle, and imagine for every decision you take, they're in the room with you, that's the way you should be operating a business. You operate everything you do to serve the customer and to offer them value. Many business owners will make decisions that suit themselves or suit their staff or suit their production, but you've got to remember that everything you do is trying to deliver value to that customer. And if you do things that aren't for the best of the customer, then you're going to be in some way affecting the value you offer for them.
Then you say search for understanding. But what does that mean?
Well, this is a good one. One of our clients, Melbourne Brick Company in Melbourne, really gets this, and we've been working with them for probably 14 years now. And it means to survey. It means to observe, to listen, not base your decisions on assumptions. So base them on facts and knowledge about your market, about your customers, about the competition, and about your own business, so that you can really operate from a base of understanding what you're doing. And it makes life a lot easier when you know what your customers need and want.
Your third principle is to be selective in your marketing activities, but that isn't always easy when there's so much information around and so much noise. So how do we know to select the right things?
Totally. In fact, the recent research is that we all receive something like 3,000 or 4,000 marketing messages a day, or advertising messages, which is it is quite a lot of noise, as you say. Our advice to small business is to be selective in terms of niching their market. So it's to find a small, valuable audience that they can promote themselves to. This way they can target their resources. They can target to customers that see more value in what they do, rather than trying to compete with big business that are going generally more across a whole mass market. It's a smart principle of using effective resources by targeting what you do in small business.
Okay. Then you say we need to seek truth. So what does that mean?
Again, it's about no assumptions. It's also about ethics and making sure you do the right thing by both your customers, your suppliers, and your staff. A lot of business owners are operating off rumours. They chase shadows. They chase, something's going to happen, or I've heard this, we should do this. But they don't go the next step, which is to confirm whether it's fake news or not, is probably a topical word to use for that particular situation.
All right. Now, principle number 5, Hunter, involves being open. So what are companies that practice openness, as you call it, what are they doing that perhaps others aren't?
Yeah, well, they're openly communicating. What's really interesting with many businesses is they I think in our surveys about 80% of businesses haven't communicated with their existing customers other than to send them an invoice in the last 12 months. So a good business is always communicating with their customers. They're always communicating with their suppliers, their staff and the market. They don't close themselves off or stop promoting in tough times. They're always asking for feedback on what they're doing. So they've got this open line of communication out to their marketplace back and forth.
Then the importance of measurement. But again, is that something that we often don't get right in marketing? Because it's a technical aspect of it, is it?
Well, it could be technical. The Marketing Institute has something like 130 plus different measures of marketing that you could use. But really in small businesses, probably 5 or 6. And again, I'll probably refer to Melbourne Brick, our client. In this regard, we use things like return on investment, visitors to the stores, conversions from emails, what works, what doesn't. We're always using very simple measures to understand for every dollar that we invest in a marketing program, what are we getting in return for that? So it doesn't have to be complicated, but you really do need to measure it. In fact, again, in our benchmarks, I think we've found about 5% of businesses are effectively measuring their marketing and what works. And that's too low. You can't waste your money like that in a small business. You don't have enough resources to begin with. So you want to make sure you're using your money the right way.
And finally, principle number 7 is adapt. And for that, you say we need to stay connected to our customers.
Yeah, totally. There's a great saying by Charles Darwin about the most survivable species are those that are able to adapt. And so this is a real principle in marketing today. We have globalised markets, we've got technology, we've got disruption. I came up with a term being Uberized. And really in small business, you want to make sure that there isn't somebody out there that's going to come away and take your market by offering better value to your customers or a better technology solution. So if you keep close to your customers and know what their needs and wants are and how they're changing, it'll keep you ahead of the curve, as well as keeping what we term a weather eye on the trends in the marketplace. So you know what's coming, and that way you can be adaptable and stay in business over the long term.
All right. Well, Hunter, how confident are you that these principles and activities will improve our marketing efforts and start to pay dividends for us? Because we've still got to sit down and do a plan, haven't we?
Totally. Well, I'm supremely confident. The 7 habits that we've identified have come from the observation of successful companies. So when those things aren't in place, business becomes hard and it fails. It's almost a self-correcting system to follow these things. Success is almost inevitable if you have systems and skills in place in those 7 areas, because you can't get too far off track if you have systems in place to handle strategy, marketing, sales, people, etc., etc. So we believe those 7 habits are the things to watch for and to keep track and benchmark yourself on how you're doing over time.
That was Silver and Wise founder and CEO, Hunter Leonard. This episode of Business Essentials Daily is produced by the team at SoundCartel. Thanks for listening. I'm Nicole Goodman. We'll bring you more Be Daily tomorrow. Follow @BE Daily Podcast across social media and head to bedaily.com.au for more from the Business Essentials Daily podcast. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Mazars. To find out more, visit mazars.com.au. That's mazars.com.au.